we've been muted. We keep doing this to ourselves. Literally, several of my videos start with me doing a huge introduction, and they're muted. I'm not going back and editing them. That's not what kind of channel this is. These will just be lost in the... These words will be lost in the nether. You'll never know what I've said. No one ever. Except, I guess, me. Anyway, welcome. Hello. This is me. I'm Uncommon. We're learning to draw. That's the essence of what we say here. We're learning to draw. You're not going to see masterpieces. I'm not here to teach you anything. I'm here to teach myself. The things I say are my own thoughts as I kind of work through the things as I understand them. And this is a forcing function for me to get pinned to tablet time. Because I have spent too much of my time in the past wanting to know how to draw and never taking the time to learn how to draw. Wasting my time away lulling about TV, video games, which I still enjoy. Don't get me wrong, but I wish I'd put the time and the effort in a long time ago to get this out there. So here we are, big old empty canvas in front of us. Day 17, which I think I was saying before we noticed it was muted, is really the second day 17, because we got about 90 minutes in yesterday, and I was just wasn't feeling drawing, which is the second time it happened this week. It was Tuesday and Thursday. I really didn't have the oomph for whatever we were doing. And the only thing I can think of is Monday and Wednesday we did something cool that I thought was cool. I thought was nice. And maybe the pressure of that got to me. Or we were, just didn't get enough water the day before and we were feeling sluggish. Regardless, we're going to take some of that pressure off of ourselves today. And we're just going to start with the simple, easy exercises again. We're going to put lines to paper, maybe do some gesture and some boxes. I don't know. We're going to see what low pressure stream looks like. So let's just keep talking to ourselves as we put some of these lines down. Just putting lines on paper, letting the squiggles get out there, letting the warm-up get out there. We're going to go to that daily exercises page, work through those as well. At least remind myself that after stream we've got to do the breakdowns of the proportions. We've got to do some more over photo drawing. I think we're missing cylinders, like a good cylinder. Alright. You can see we get cylinder-like shape out of all of these. But it doesn't feel to me three-dimensional. And maybe that's just a level of cylinder perfection we should be okay with, and we should move past on. Check over here, messages being thrown down. Cool. So anyway, let's open that up. And before we do that, let's hit the combo button, because I'm not sure which figure art bits are going to show up when we first click this. We drew some stuff yesterday. It was good and we liked it. But I just need to sort through what the layers look like. Okay. Cool. I think we're fine. Just a couple of things on the list. Alright. We did this one yesterday. We'll do it again. Get it in at about 150. Zoom in. Just a nice exercise. We want to get... these vertical lines, I guess, are their weakness. This angle of mine is a weakness. It's not the most uncomfortable angle of mine, but if I can increase the range, I think my range of comfort somewhere between here and here in this range, maybe a little higher. But as I start to get horizontal, past horizontal and vertical, we have some problems. So just some pen to paper. I haven't quite figured out what today is. I know I want to do some gesture. I want to do some boxes. We need to push the limits of what I'm comfortable with, or at least repeat the things that are the step before. I think the one class I am trying to work through in accordance with the schedule is the Mark Brunet's Art School, which is why we're using this worksheet today. We do have a plethora, way too much out there we're trying to follow at once. Okay, we'll just slice this box in half a bunch of times. Let's get the tablet moved a little bit closer. The microphone's in a good spot, but I was just dodging it with my hand, which means I'm not prioritizing the pen control. And we're going to go for speed on this left side. And then we're going to go a lot slower. See how it feels in comparison. We haven't merged too many lines. That right there touches. The idea is we put these lines down without them touching. A little bit of speed over here, trying to find. And we've closed off a few of these angles. And then we'll break this one down fast. Trying to find ones that are open since we closed off so many this time around. So like this one, right? Close off, no way to get that one successfully, and there's a couple just like that. All right, we'll bring it down a little slower. We're gonna go about this pace for now. We're gonna slow down as the gaps get smaller, and just kind of see the. Let's see where that gets us. Alright, starting from the left. I say starting, we're in the middle of the exercise. Moving to the left. We're going to go a little slower. And as I do this, the more I stay in the middle, the more room I have. We come back, like right here. Cut that one in half again. We have a collision right there. There we go. Making some good, I'd say some good lines. We're moving a line and we're not touching the sides. Some level of control, barely right there. And that one we went outside of the green box. Instant feedback, at least, for something like this. Nice and slow, this one. One thing I have to kind of stop myself from doing is readjusting the pen in my hand to get a better grip while I'm mid draw, right? While I'm mid stroke, mid line. All right, so try to do a good, reasonable speed, but I want accuracy and confidence in my lines. Let's change colors and do it again. I feel like there's not a lot of circles here, so we're getting a couple of extra reps. And let's go with a blue and do it again. I've got to make sure that as I'm doing this, I'm not just going through the motions. I'm drawing the best circle trace over that I can at any given moment, but also simultaneously be okay with whatever I put down and moving on. Alright. I think the harder one for me, just put that on 100. Losing the thickness and trying to make it gradual. Like we do it well enough, like at the end, once we've had the pen down for a bit. But there's always this like sudden drop. That's better. Okay. Awesome, awesome. Let me delete that. Let's move on to the next one. Ooh, I don't know if I deleted all these yet. 1 second. I did delete these layers, right? Cool, cool, cool. I'm gonna check all the other layers. We can't use that layer. Alright, here we go. Just gesture layer here. Somebody just asked me, why am I not streaming? But I'm live. I'm live. Been live for 15 minutes. Did something not go out? Dashboard say we're live. Maybe you didn't get the notification. No worries either way. Alright, let's pick a gesture website today. Opposing. Let's see. Gesture poses. There's a couple. We use line of action off and on. That's the one. These quick poses today. Time practices. Let's do pose. All genders. 45 seconds today. I'm feeling a little more time. And let's do 40 images. Alright, here we go. Immediately already behind. Let's go. Lower the sensitivity or the size. Try not to do the double lines today. Doing gesture, so these lines should show motion. I don't know if I give enough room between the shoulder, but we move on. Move my whole body. We don't have the hold of the pose. The hold of the figure. Cuts off exactly where I've cut it off. I don't think throwing those extra lines are giving me more motion. Let's get ready for the next one. Terminator pose here. This next one. Okay, let's see. It's like a scythe here. It's leaning to the left, though that I think it's a me problem. Like the pose isn't leaning to the left. This pose, line of action, we get kind of a shortened shoulder. This is the back. big line of action there. Foreshortened arm in the back. Okay. It's a bow and arrow. All right, next. Another Terminator-like pose. Front leg does one of these things. Yeah, that's a foot. Totally a foot. Okay, this one. All right. Moving. I think the angles, a lot of rough angles I'm putting some things down on. Things like the hands there. Spending a lot of time on, and it's not showing the gesture. Let's try the line of action, circle of the head, the general shape, lying down, line of action. Let's do torso, pelvis. egg shape for the head. On all fours, going this way. Let's try bringing that out here. Some of those searching lines seem like they keep getting in the way. I need to maybe stop going over lines more than once. Oof. He's got a very dynamic pose. I don't know if we capture it well here, but we'll try. Holding a spear. Yeah, it's crazy. That's wild. All right. Try it with ovals. see some of the model. Okay. Next, just find spaces. Try not to actually do any erasing. That's not something I want to make a part of this. Oh, I lost the space here. Just let this one pass. Just take a little bit of water in. Come back to the left side. We're going a little smaller. We're at 24 images. We have 16 left. We've shortened the torso a bit too much, and given more of a heavy exaggeration here. That's not helping us any. This is a wild bit here. Now, one of the problems, I'm not doing a good shoulder line. Put the arm way close to the head there. Way too long here. Portions are off. Go a little smaller. The arc of the arms is out here. Another spear. Somebody lying on their back. Okay. Whole lot of action, just like all the way down. We get this bit. There's a shoulder, an arm. It's grasping a cloth. The other arm, of course, hidden behind the cloth. Why wouldn't it be? Very small. We've made the small head, so let's try to keep everything else. I say in proportion, but there's some foreshortening I just try to represent. Well, I mean, this one's just like stick figure standing sideways, or at a 45. So I wonder how difficult that is to show. Okay, can't see a lot because there's a bunch of hair in the way. But we do see a slight action line. Let's see what we can fill in. Hey, Chris. 45. I wanted to give myself a little more time. But it's you're very close. Why? That's a butt. Or just finding space for small stuff, I guess. It's actually flat on the... And again, these scratching lines aren't helping anybody. It's not helping me, most of all. I gotta stop them. This is a photo shoot here we've seen a couple times today. Either one of those lines are great. There's a lot of cloth. I've got to kind of envision past. Okay, new space. And it's not even the right curve. So it comes here and here. Oof. Squish it all a little too much. Let's find a good clean space and maybe just zoom in a bit. We'll get more that way. Just remember, gesture. Going for the feeling of the motion. There's just a big hand right here. Then here. There's a lot of cloth. Alright. And how'd that happen? I lost it. I'm so zoomed in, I lost it. Oh, there it is. Oh. Alright, I'm gonna pick one, and we're gonna go spend some more time on it. Do we have a good space somewhere? I think we're about to make a space. Just gonna pick one of these. It felt good. Felt like I could have done more on. That one's hiding too much with cloth. I will try this one. So the idea of what I'm seeing, just forget everything we're trying to do. Just for everything we know. Forget everything we know. Let's immediately box things in. We're almost straight on. And that's the scythe. Which is a bit of a crooked handle, but we're not going to focus heavily on that. A lot of cloth hiding what's here, but what is the shape of the cloth? Let's really observe. Okay. We'll let that fly. This leg that comes out a bit more than that. Our arms are really stubby, and I want to blame it on foreshortening. But I don't know if that's what's happening, is because I'm seeing like maybe the boxes are too big, cloth comes out to here, covers some stuff. Let's kind of covers a bit of the shoulders and then drapes. And we got this leg over here, kind of disappears behind it, but boot right above the knee. I'm going to take that down to about this point. Because that's not the calf. The calf is there. The knee is here. I'm making things up. Come back to the scythe. And this actually disappears behind the cape, or into the cape. Like there's torso. We don't see the edge of the torso. It's more cape than torso. It actually folds over here, and then we get some of the drapery that comes off the arm, but otherwise it's a big black cape. It does stop somewhere around here, and we get the base of the foot, which we've enlarged a bit as I try to understand it. And of course, just hidden, and I'm revealing more than I know. Yep, just all colored in here. Same here. We definitely went shorter. But there is some serious foreshortening we're having a hard time mapping out. Because it comes out to about the knee. If we look at the vertical for the elbow, it comes out about there. It's even got the sleeve on here to help me see the cylindrical shape of everything, this bit here. And again, the scythe, which we've made. Probably a bit more massive, and we're not really focusing on the hands. So I don't know why I'm focusing on the hands. Do all right, cool. Just a little bit of time doodling. See, we're doing a couple things I don't like, and I need to break the habit of. First off, the grip, because I just remembered that was a thing. Second is this scratchiness as we kind of work our way and we're searching for lines. I would thoroughly like to just be able to draw a line, even if it's not in the right place. I think some more comfort here with those lines would be nice. I guess that's it. Let's do some sketches today. Let's put some ideas down, a little bit of imagination, a little bit of reference. Let's get some sketching. day 17 over here. We can close our warm-up exercises for now. Let's put something down. Coming up with stuff is always it's a slow starter. I was just thinking, what does Jeff the land shark look like? But now that I'm mid draw, I'm seeing a penguin. Like a, ooh, what if it's a venom penguin? For some reason, that's not our thing. We're not the guy who draws venom. We just had two fun ideas back to back on that. I don't even know what a penguin looks like. Probably not this short. Right. Little stubby legs. Big head. It's venom, right? So we teeth it. We do the teeth. And then the tongue. Little tendrils. Club venom. I guess his one little wing has got to be a claw, like a really sharp. Going over it and adding some shakiness to all the lines. I don't know, we're just doodling. Not really. We're still learning drawing from imagination. We do a lot of reference stuff. I don't know. You draw from imagination? Yeah, sometimes. I think that's a better answer. More confident. I don't really draw for much right now, though. Lines, boxes. Let's see, what else? We'll come up with some fun stuff. Start putting lines down, see where it takes us. We're doing, trying to get the shape of a face down the other day. Although that definitely seems to be a question I get often, and I would love to understand why I get asked reference or imagination so often. Trending question. Let's see, what kind of pose? What kind of pose? If we're coming like top down, like it looks like we are, like this is the top of the head. Can this be a hand? Maybe not from that side or that angle. I'm seeing shoulders kind of here. I don't know if we do a good job of foreshortening, or we just end up making them look stubby. By doing some kind of, you know, top-down angle. Like there's no... I guess that would be bigger too if we were... Would it be bigger? Where am I sitting? Let's do a... Let's see if we can't sketch out something. Quicker. 'Cause that's not the... This is not the angle we're seeing that face from, is it? So I was thinking some kind of like, you know, we're here, our hands are coming out and up, but closer to the camera. Like, in front of it. I don't think it's not coming together. I can say that drawing with reference helps much more compared to drawing from imagination. At the same time, it's based on my own experience. I guess I see the answer as eventually I want to get to the point where I'm drawing from imagination. I would love to just be able to slop things down from that mental picture. But that's not the journey we're on right now. That might be the destination, but that's not the part of the journey we're on at the moment. But I think, as I said at the beginning, I'm learning. There's no wisdom coming out of this stream, just things as I understand them. We just took it, made it bigger. Does that solve any? It does a thing. If anything, we're doodling and we're making nonsense right now. It almost feels like something. Like it's almost got some depth. And we can erase and find a thing. We've done this before where we kind of carve out the lines until we see something, but I think even this would be foreshortened if it's coming depicted closer at the screen. Or it is just the elbow that's turned in, so we go all the way to the arm. It's huge, it's massive. Do more work with the shoulder. No idea what we're doing. Feeling it out. Talking to ourselves. Almost, I say with the Kiss of the Lion, looks like we got like almost a Daredevil thing coming out. And the mask, kind of like that. Can we bring like the knees in too? Maybe not that close in. Kind of about there, and then maybe bring this one over. We're adding a lot of lines. We're just letting ourselves have them for now. We can always come back with the eraser. We did this the other day where we just drew a bunch of lines. And we came back and we erased what we thought were the wrong lines. Something slowly started to come together because our mind was making up the difference with all the extra, cheating a bit. Like if we went to do we went to clean this up, we wouldn't have the same feeling. Or if we went to, do the line art on top of it. Uh. What if those were laces? Now they are. Who knows what those lines are? I don't. We got this massive, like, pinky finger here. I was trying to, like, clean up the hand a bit. I don't know if we get there. Do we need more fist? Is it a angle problem? I am also death gripping my pen, and we gotta stop that. We have something here, but we're also needing to rotate it. We don't have to let it be so small. Cool. Let's do the other side. I think we just take out whatever's over here, move it to the side. Yeah, sure. We're having fun with whatever's going on here. Let's move that nose over just a bit. topless for the moment. Just give them the nipples. I've actually been seeing this like wrap down here because of the extra lines. We've got this stuffed into the belt, bloused, if you will, into the belt look. And get rid of some of these. Excess lines. And we just keep adding lines. It's going somewhere. Immediately take away some lines. I can see we're a little... Maybe the shoulder over here is a little in the wrong place. I want to kind of, like he's lopsided. Whatever's going on here. Let's try a little bit of Clip Studio Magic. Let's not do that one. Let's get rid of the line and try to capture it again. So, if we measure head size, we have essentially we have two torso head, right? It's hard to pick because that's a one torso head. The jaw's a bit extended. It's the ball of the head maybe, so width. So I watch the circle and where the nose is. Also another thought is we just start over on the head. Oh, there's some pencil at some point bleeding into that. And the other thought is this is rotated a bit. Sure. What we don't have is a lot of symmetry. Let's say we try to find a head here that matches the style and its shape. our like Dragon Ball-esque eyes here. Let's try something else. Is he angry? It looks like I'm making him angry. Maybe sharper features. I don't mind this like chin outline we kind of have here, where I was looking at like neck shape. Yeah, it's interesting. We didn't know where we were going when we started, but we're finding a place. The shoulder needs work. Like an old action figure. What about hair? He's been very bald lately. Hair. We were thinking about hair. Well, let's get the hairline. We could do any number of things. Not scratchy with the hair. I need to just put it down. I don't know if what I'm doing fits here. not those. We want this button. Why a flat top? Don't know. Give him a flat top. Oh, he does feel very military. So I guess that's why. I guess that's why a flat top. Got this very military-esque feel with the boots. We even called it blousing. I don't know how we would do the top. I guess we just leave it. I like the little bit of the grin we've got, especially the part that comes down. Maybe I don't like the part that comes down. I say especially, maybe not. Clean it up. Top fucking da, I guess. I mean, what we probably could do is continue to emphasize and darken the lines we liked. Hide the ones we don't like. We could come in and we could do some erasing. Alright, fix it up. But I think I'm good. I like where we're at. I like what it is. We can hide some of the craziness behind scratchy lines, right? That's allowed. Probably, if this was shorter, is that more of a fist? Can't tell. Don't matter. Guess we could add, like, you know, wherever the thumb would be there. Wherever that would be. Who could say where the thumbnail would be? Be wild to even speculate. All right, we're gonna take a lunch. Take 5 minutes. We're gonna take 5 minutes. We're gonna be right back. Oh, we're gonna do some doodle some more. We're gonna find something to do. New layer, and we can get rid of the old one. All right, with that, see you in a minute. We'll hit this button. Okie dokie. We made it back. Oh, so let's pick a reference now. I think swap it up a bit. Let's pick something to draw. We just have to find that something. So I have a little bit of Shonen Jump. Let's find something in Shonen Jump. We want to read, not read, draw. We're drawing, not reading. Ooh, we're everywhere today. Let's scroll down through One Piece. Somebody brought up chapter 10:15 the other day. I don't remember what was happening in chapter 10:15. Oh, I remember what was happening in 10:15. Not a good splash image for me to grab. It's on chapter 1000. Complete the One Piece poster by combining it with the previous chapter. Okay, let's do that. 999. Alright, let's rotate. I bet there's something in here we want to do. We need to deselect everything, and now I can draw. Alright, let's actually combine to the best of our ability these two pages. And y'all can't see what I'm doing. Oh, you can. Hey, we can see a thing. Alright, we've done some weird things with the layers. Let's deselect. What do we have here? What do we have here? I want to take out that little bit of yellow, and I think we can cut into it just a bit. Now all we gotta do is line her up. Cool. We did a thing. All right. Let's combine these layers. Now let's think about what we see here. We've had some problems getting Zoro down. He'd be a fun subject. I do draw with the reference on the left side, so let's make a cover sheet to kind of block off this side. Let's say like that. Let's zoom in on him. What do we have when we start drawing at like 8? We need black. Yeah. We get this pixelated line and we're at 400%. So let's make this a little bigger. Go back to our layer, zoom out. We're figuring out tools, we got this. Again, give that a big old canvas. Now when I zoom in, I'm only at 150 and I draw the line at 8 thickness. It feels more like a line. So what do we have? Interesting. We got the clear, of course. Here, let's add a layer behind. Okay, let's add a layer in front. Sketch over what we sketched over, because we shouldn't have been drawing directly on that gray, so we could erase it proper. So I'm actually pretty happy with how this quickly sketched out. I don't want to leave it behind and start over. I always feel like I was cooking. Hard to tell if that's about right. But let's go ahead and delete G. That's the wrong thing. That's the wrong thing. Correct thing. There we go. That'll get us somewhere closer. Where's my pen at? Oh, deselection. do think this ends up being a little higher, but I don't know if it's that high. I think I'm still rotating things to the left, but let's keep it up. Let's just... see where the spirit takes us. Now we've got already, I'm smushing things in the wrong places. Because this line here it's got like the pirate captain's coat, which is an interesting thing I do enjoy about Zoro and One Piece here is as a character. He could be a captain on his own merit, just power scaling. We're talking a little bit of power scaling there. We're talking a little bit of personality and force of character. This, I think, way down here. We got some clothing kind of fabric lines. He's bunched up and rolled up around the arm. He's got his bandana around his shoulder. Some knuckles. There's a wrist. Scar up the front. I think we can do more with the mouth. Maybe bring the rest of the face in line. It's always tough. I don't give myself a lot of room in here. Okay, let's see. Get rid of some of the hand here because it doesn't exist in these lines. It doesn't exist in the spot, and these lines are getting in the way of my visualization. Clean up some of the hands. Probably move this whole thing over a bit. Focus on the negative space here. And we have this straight line pole. Sword pole. It's a scabbard. We have a scabbard. Which gives us a little bit of framing for the sleeve, the placement, and the angle. Clean up a couple of these lines. Come on back and I'm doing this thing where my lines aren't as clean and they're hiding stuff. He does have a neck. I don't know if his neck is that big, but he has a neck. If we look at the lines, yeah, we're a little taller. Is that something we can easily squish? I mean, a little bit. That lines up the sword better. The neck also. So yeah. Alright, cool. Easy fix. Let's darken some of the lines we've chosen to stick with. Get rid of some of the lines we've that aren't real. Just some. Let's clean and neaten up this neck. Let's take the death grip off of our pen. We've got a lot of bunched up fabric here. Some of it's displayed with ink, some of it's displayed in paint. Of course, I like the stuff that's displayed in ink a little better. So that's just a preference of what I like working with so far. The answer is, you know, so far. Alright, so this is where I tend to get sloppy. So I don't put as much weight into things outside the face. So let's maybe give it some more time. So we've got out here this folds in the cloth that some of it's very visible again in the inking. Some of it with the shades. We're going to try to show some of it. We've got this belt, this sash. Goes over to the swords, and we've got these swords. There's another weakness, but they're just shapes. I can find the shapes. See, we're tucking them into weird places too, because that's not where they're at in the picture, is it? Me. We start to draw them and then they're in the wrong place. We continue to draw them. So this is like sword 1, right? This sword 2. Kind of along those lines. We only really get, you know, this much of the photo. lot of time on what is essentially the cap. We get some of it peeking out over here. And then we get this perspective shot. Nice perspective shot. The other one. You can tell because we see more of the top of the cap. And it kind of fades away, right? Got a lot of these lines here. The wrapping of the katana, which we're not spending horrible amounts of time on. We'll just throw some lines down. ARZX. Men with hair buns are always sus. Glad to have you here too, brother. Alright, let's see. We're a little in the territory of the sleeve. We're a little off somewhere, but let's see what happens. How this jumps out at me. Okay, so now the wrap, there is a bit of the belt that wraps around, and that's also functional. We actually see it extend from the actual belt. We can see now we've rotated, so I gotta unrotate and take a real look. Oh yeah, that's all kinds of angled. Let's give ourselves permission real quick to adjust this angle. We'll go with that. Let's sketch out kind of the rest of this. And again, we've got these lines. They go into darkness, but they do have some visible characteristics. Darken the lines we intended to draw. Maybe even give us that perspective back. probably highlight some of these lines, but we're getting pretty unreadable with this much sketching on sketching on sketching. Now, anything else in this photo we want to look at? So we've got this handkerchief here, and the interesting bit for me is not where the lines are, but it's where the lines aren't. So we're gonna color this one in real quick. In fact, we got a brush for this, right? Let's give me the round watercolor brush. Maybe the wrong brush. Or the right brush. I'm gonna erase the extra colors there. Of course, we didn't color on any additional layer. We colored right on top. Get some pen going. And I'm just gonna focus on the overall shape of the object. We want it mostly black, but now we've gotten a bit of a help from the brush. The messiness of the ink does something for me. Gotta be careful with that thought, because the messiness of the ink doing, like, helping me see things doesn't mean it's a good final product. It's hiding things that I otherwise don't want to see. But the point I was gonna make is, if I go to a gray here and we tie that back in, we get a much more prominent picture of what's going on. That's using some of the colors to our advantage. Go back to the black. Talking about using colors to our advantage. Let's shade in the not tongue portions of the mouth. Maybe reduce the chin a bit. That already feels a little better. I guess enlarge the chin, but reduce this chin portion, this flat portion. Let's see. What do we do for brushes? So, if I were to give painting this a try, we have the resource color, like we have the colors, the prominent colors. If we were, say, not to spend a lot of time on it, we were just to come in here with a round mixing brush. Again, we haven't looked up a lot of painting guides, so we're doing this. We're experimenting. We're learning as we go. We're gonna try some layers here. I'm gonna try not to make 1,000 layers like last time. Two layers for 3 layers. We'll darken and we'll highlight. We won't use the... There was a brush tool we were using, not a brush tool, a select tool, and a fill tool. We won't use that. We'll see where we get to. Try to be a little darker where it's darker. We'll erase where we need to erase. Maybe go a little smaller. Smaller is going to let me get darker in some areas. it also increases the time it takes to do the big stuff. So I'm feeling like we can do the big stuff, big brush. Right, and then come in afterwards, we'll say like the size 15. So we're good. We're happy with rough stuff. All right, let's get the hair. That's pretty bright green. Let's start with the darker stuff, and then we'll do the highlights on that later. I feel like the painting portion of all this takes some of the stress out. So that's nice. Like you've already got the lines, now we're just coloring. Well, until I start worrying about the quality of the sketch, I guess. Let's go back to this green. The bigger brush. Just kind of get this done down here. There's no ink on that section, but I at least want to frame it outside the belt. Which, you know, we still gotta draw. I say we still gotta draw, but suddenly... line. There we go. First thing, second thing. First thing first. Let's make a swath of the colors up here. Because I don't want to be hunting these colors later. Pick a good skin tone. And we'll come back, we'll darken this all up. With the shades, then we'll lighten it with the highlights. Interestingly enough, the edges where we're bleeding over is probably where I should be paying a little more attention, because I'm not working on the layers here where I can just erase. So these marks are coloring on top of actual paint we've spent time on. Speaking of, cool. Alright, I want this red. It's more of a pink at that angle. Looks better. I do think some of the artistry here will be figuring out the shading and the lighting and the highlights and feeling good about the result. But we're just slapping colors down. What do we know? Well, I guess we can let that be a little fuzzy on the outside. I do want to clean up the inside with the red. Alright, little gold buttons. Let's do yellow. That's about the only use of that particular color, right? Nope, right over here. A little smaller. Okay, skin tone again. Oh, right. That line is not in the right layer. Cool. That's a really light shade for the skin tone. Let's get the teeth back, and then we'll. I guess we can brush the teeth in white because there's. What am I doing? This layer. And then kind of a deep red here for the tongue. Alright, let's work with the skin tones. Let's do the darker shading. Now, part of me thinks we could go to a pen here for some of the darker tones, but I don't know, I think there's definitely merit to what we're doing. With the brush and the multiple strokes to darken. Trying to hide the strokes. There's a white here we weren't even thinking about. Kind of a middle tone here, I think, is doing a lot of heavy lifting. So we're gonna spend some time on the middle tone. Yeah. Try to find all the right places to kind of place these tones. It's really helping to not make this feel as flat. Maybe I will be adding a little more painting into my future. And there's a lot of places a darker tone exists, but this face has even got some like purple in it that I'm finding hard to visualize. Something other than like bruising. Okay. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Let's hit a darker green. Alright, we said the colors are doing a lot of the work here. Alright, so I'm starting to get a feel for some of the shading that's showing up. I mean, some of it was the lines I was putting down were just shades anyway. So that helps. Some of it is just edges. Some of it's vast segments. Okay. Going to get some of this darker skin tone and a little bit of the shading. Back to this medium tone. This is very highlight heavy right here, and I don't think it should be. Excellent. All right, let's get this other darker orange. Kind of on the belt. There's a lot. It is a lot of this belt. If I can get it in the right spots, but maybe the highlights are what's gonna bring out this belt more. If I can think about where the edges are, where the highlights are. There's only a couple that really stick out to me. Three really white highlights. We can even throw a little white there for him. Probably go back to the orange. Make them smaller. Back to the dark green. We have a lot going on in here. There's a lot of lines we didn't do. We may need to go back and put some lines into some of these. The edging could use a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Let's get the hair. There's some darker bits to the hair. Especially kind of like in the front here. We may need to go back and darken that just a bit more, but never gonna hurt to get a couple of shades. Probably some more, highlights too, some more lines. So I think if we go back to the line layer here, put the pen down, like there's definitely some There's a lot there. We don't have to like take our time immaculately trying to find these. Just be a little more, you know, deliberate with where the line choices are. Kind of show emotion. And then maybe some highlights around the top. Nope, wrong layer. And maybe even some lighter color. Especially at the edges. And then we'll take the eraser in here and get rid of some excess paint that found its way in. Now there are also a little bit of a... We're kind of stealing colors and we're experimenting, but... Oh, nope. Not that color. I want the kind of the darker head bit, but you can see there's a lot of bruising or coloration. I don't understand, so I'm hesitant to like put it down. It's just like purpling and then especially put it on too thick. Maybe I just need a light touch and a bigger brush. I am always hesitant to put down lines I see and don't understand. Alright, let's do a little bit of the swords. Lock in the major colors. Now we've done a little differently here is we've just painted on one layer compared to what we were doing yesterday. Yesterday, 2 days ago. For better or worse. We're not doing a shading layer. We're just kind of slapping paint down. There we go. I want that more gold burnished color. Do it for both swords. We may need to come back in and do some more lines. They have the same kind of guard, not the same kind of guard cap, we're gonna call it. And this is actually that color as well. This one. We could probably even extend our brush size, decrease it a bit. Again. And decrease it again for detail. Now there's one really easy shadow one here. We can do. Let's just go ahead and grab that shadow. It's a bluish color. A little darker. I think I just got to go over the brush a few times. I do wonder about how hard I can push on the pen sometimes. Let's see. I also want to strike that out. There's definitely more lines down there I could attend to. A couple things we didn't do are some of the highlights, and it's almost just a white in some of these spaces. Go back to the color layer before we start. A lot of places we're guessing. Trying not to put it next to a dark spot. Oh, I guess there's this green down here too. But again, the white. The bluish white. Now there's, the folds are being kind of shown in the, heavily with the highlights and the shading, and we're just kind of throwing them down. A little haphazardly. Copying more than we're understanding. But I am currently alright with that. Some highlights on the flesh. Skin tone lightened up in a few places. Even, how about darkened and a few more? We've got some red here that definitely darker. Whole swath of it. unflatten, you know, the big red cloak. Let's see, we can even add to the curl here. Maybe not just those broad brush strokes, but this one. Darken the edge of the cape. Take these sketch lines we've put in and give them some depth and character. Put back in some sketch lines, maybe? So we don't really have any here. Really give that the volume it has. It's a pencil. We don't want the pencil. Yeah. Yeah. Well, what we did today, and we're calling it today because we're probably wrapping up, is a lot of this was quick. We put this down pretty quick. Now there's some obvious issues with the scale of the whole thing. Well, even some places where there's nothing at. But generally, I feel alright about that. Feel like we did a thing. Probably need to do some more boxes, practice our observation a bit, because there are some real issues to work on. Line work, proportions, even some lines we could, spend some more time on there. I think, though, that wasn't one of them. Some places where the sketch lines do a lot of the heavy lifting for us. Kind of like, down here in the elbow. Could be an easy straight line. We could do that. What is layering just a thick outside line do for us? If I were to not that one. I mean, I don't hate a thick black line. don't know why. But I like it. Cool. Nope. Yep, let's group these layers. Let's get rid of... Can we get rid of a sketch layer? I don't know if there really is one. We can move our paint. Or we can delete the paint. We can even delete maybe these lines here. These don't need to be... There we go. Now I think we rotate the whole thing. For some reason we tend to draw a little more rotated than we need to be. And that's something to know about ourselves. And maybe fix. Like, is his artwork... It's a little slanted. Let's crop it. Export it. Post it on the Discord. I think this is fine. I'm happy. I'm pretty happy with what we did today. Jaw could use some work. Large pieces of it could use some work. Wait, where's my rotation? Come here, transform. I don't think I want it to be straight up and down. I think he leans forward a bit when it is. I also didn't draw the top of the sword up here. That's fine. That's fine. Crop it again. Oh, did I? Oh, that guy does exist. Maybe we... Can we move him down, or is he, like, cut off? Do I have to undo? Oh, he exists. I'll hide him back there. He exists. Alright, let's see. File, export single layer, PNG, completed. This is a Zoro 999. Like, that's chapter 999. A little bit of artwork. And probably do some fun transparency stuff. If it was painted all the way through, but you can see as I do that, where the transparency comes out a bit. In fact, some of those grays I was putting in as highlights are just erasers. So this gray came out as the primary color, which is where a lot of my pieces have been, is in the dark gray realm. Like dark gray, on top of dark gray paper. Cool. Day 17, clip files. We're kind of keeping everything, so that's been nice. We'll look back on it at some point and be like, this is what we did at one point. Look at us. We'll see our improvement, but... Alright, hey. Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for hanging out with me, and we're learning to draw. And, you know, we could put together something that looks kind of alright sometimes, and that's a good feeling. Really still want to get, like, my line work and my boxes and my cylinders, figure, gesture, all those things really nailed in. We got some draw box. We're probably going to finish lesson 1 draw box. Oh, maybe not over the weekend. It's Super Bowl weekend. We're going to find time. But hey, here we are. Thank you so much for hanging out. We're going to hit that button. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you next week.